In this sport, you don't wait for judges to decide your fate. TenexToken puts you in control. Stake instantly, speculate discreetly, and keep your moves private. TenexToken. Play smart, play discreet.
This is Colin McGuigan for IFLTV. I'm praying this doesn't have an effect like before. You remember we done that unbelievable interview and then we lost it.
I'm just putting it out there now. If you do that again,
It wasn't me.
I can't not. Every other interview comes out fine apart from yours. So just putting this out there now. If this fails, I'm not doing it again. So
You strung me along today. Actually, I waited till today to come with you because I was like, "We'll get a good piece in the car."
yeah, because I think the car interviews are shit. You're like looking over, you're jumping up and around. The light's bad.
So basically, what you're saying is you don't feel comfortable in your own skin doing that because you're a little bit
really uncomfortable. What I'm saying to you is, I'd rather sit down. I mean, first of all, when you say I strung you along, I gave you a lift from New York to Philadelphia. That's the first thing. Even at, and also DAZN were in the car, and some of the conversations were extremely sensitive, and we couldn't even be bothered to like.
But is that not telling of how trustworthy I am?
Well, I'll break your fucking legs otherwise. I'm only joking. I'm actually not. But the situation is, yeah, you are quite trustworthy. You're very painful. All week you've been messaging me. Like, when I tell you I'm going to give you a lift to Philly, you know I wouldn't go back. Like, if I say I'm giving you a lift for Philly, I'm giving you a lift to Philly. So you haven't got to ask every day, are we still riding together to Philly? It's like, yeah.
Pause. I never once said that.
Yes. Oh, when you one of your messages was called me big boy, wasn't it? We ride into Philly together, big boy. I'm like,
Right, just to clarify, that didn't happen. Anyways, let's start the interview. Edward, we're in Philadelphia for a massive fight for Buchanan. People are disrespecting Lima, I think. Do you think that?
I think this is a very, very. I mean, look, I'm a little bit distorted because, in my opinion, and I know I have to hype my fighters up, and I know that, you know, I have to. I truly believe when I say I believe Boots is the future pound-for-pound number one of the sport. I think he's like the successor to Terence Crawford. I think he's that kind of level. I think he's going to be a 3, 4, maybe even a 5 division world champion. I think he's going to rule for a very long time. He's still a young man. So therefore, when he fights someone like Lima, who is a legit top 10 guy, people just expect him to walk through. What I'll tell you about Lima is I've never met someone more game, more fearless, and more desperate to change his life than this Saturday. He will be a live wire in this fight. He can punch. He's not afraid to take chances. We could have picked opponents that know Jaron Ennis, have spent time, sparred him over the years, who will just come to survive. So you're going to get a brilliant fight. Ultimately, I truly believe the level of Ennis will show. But it's a dangerous fight against a guy that will take chances, roll the dice, can punch, and he's very good. So I like the fight, and I just believe that Ennis is super, super special. And you see up at 54, I really think Jaron's best weight is going to be 160. He's massive. And a lot of fighters, when they move up a division, still struggle to make the weight. Like he won't find it easy to make 54 tomorrow. But how he was making 47, and what he was doing is he was fighting at 60 or 70% of his capacity or ability. Now you're going to see a different animal. Different animal. This kid is so special.
It's obviously a double fight week for Matchroom. How disappointed are you that you're missing the Dave Allen fight?
Well, I mean, when you say disappointed, you have to put life into perspective. I've got 2 shows on Saturday night. One has sold 8,000 in Sheffield. Could get 9 in there. One has sold 9,000, look, probably 10,000 in Philadelphia. One is a massive heavyweight fight with a great undercard, and the other one, for me, features, I think, the future pound for pound of the sport with another great undercard and another great heavyweight fight. So how blessed are we to be in a position where we're on both sides of the Atlantic with massive shows? Number one. So disappointed, yeah. I mean, you have to really. Someone said to me, I was Ariel yesterday. I was like, how can you miss Dave? What was the decision? The decision is this: Jaron Ennis. Like, America's going to be a massive part of what we do next year. We've got massive plans that we're about to announce, and Jaron Ennis is right up there in terms of our priorities and our future in this market. Dave, who I love, could win, could lose, could have a massive fight next, but it's a different kind of, the heart, although I love Jaron as well, is, you're invested in that story. But the head and the business tells me that Ennis is going to be around for 5, 6, 7 years at the top of the sport. So, yeah, I hate doing shows on the same night. And it was because the venues were available on the same night, and DAZN liked the value to fight fans of saying, what a night of boxing. When I made the decision, which was actually before we officially announced it, I didn't expect Alan Makhmudov to do what it's done. I knew it would do well, and it was completely my choice, Makhmudov, to propose to Dave, and I just felt like this. I think people will get behind this fight and the story, but I still didn't expect it. As Dave has tried to point out to me, he said it's the biggest show we've ever done in Sheffield Arena. It's very close. Wood Warrington did about 8,700. Brooke Hatton did just over 8,000. This is right up there. And I'm nervous as shit for Dave. So nervous. And what a card as well.
Do you have a conversation with Dave to say, look, I am investing this into you and I want to see you do well, but I can't be there? Like, no, did you have a...
I think Dave don't care if I'm there or not. I mean, Dave's head's in the fight, which is fantastic. Me being there is not going to make a blind bit of difference to Dave. I would like to be there to celebrate his win with him. I'd love to get in a ring and pick him up after, and I believe he's going to win the fight. But I'm also, there's a lot of important fights on that card. I mean, the Boston Fawaz rematch is very, very important in the career of Janae Boston. Balotti Padley, great fight. First title fight for Hamzruddin. Conor Tudbury's back. Ibrahim Suleiman. So it's a really big night of boxing. So, like I said...
You spoke to Dave this week?
Dave, I believe earlier in the week, yeah. Probably just by text.
Do you want to FaceTime him right now for the IFL viewers?
No, because I don't need to have conversations like that for your benefit. Or fake, like it's just... But the reality is, I will speak to him, and all I'll say is, dig in, mate, and get the job done. That's it.
How do you see it going in your head? Because you've obviously thought about this.
So I think that it's a treacherous fight for the first 4 or 5 rounds. Makhmudov, Dave is a phenomenal boxing brain, right? He really, I think post-boxing, I think he's going to be a great trainer. I think he could be a pundit, model as well, by the looks of things. But I think you've got to hang in there with Makhmudov. You've got to be tough enough to hang in there. You've got to be smart, but you've got to work as well. You've got to work with him. And what you don't want to do is just walk him down with a high guard, take shots around the ear, and because he can punch, and he's very dangerous, and he's very sharp early. And he is underrated as a fighter, I think, technically as well. But what he will do is he'll break. He's broke before. And particularly against Caballero, and also against Guido Vianelli, who's fighting on this card. But you break him by, it's a bit like Dubois as well, those kind of fighters. You've got to actually break them. You can't just hang in there. Because if you don't make them work, if you don't test their resolve, if you don't hurt them to the body, if you don't, pummel them around the side of the head, they'll just keep going and they'll gain confidence. You've got to ask him questions. You've got to go into the trenches with him and come out the other side and go, guess what, motherfucker, I'm still here. And then you'll get him. And, this is a fight that, for me, Dave Allen wins in the second half of the fight. But you've still got to get to the second half of the fight. And that's the horrible bit about it. Because it's going to be tough. But I think he's geared himself up mentally for the fight. He's given himself the underdog status. I'll make him a slight underdog in the fight. Because, I think Johnny Fisher was a little bit unlucky that Dave Allen, found Jamie Moore and Nigel and obviously started turning it around and taking it seriously. But at the same time, Johnny Fisher, who I think can be British champion, can be European in time, that win, how good was that win, right? So Makhmudov's, he's fought Caballero, he's fought Guido, he's fought these, he's a good fighter. He's a very good amateur, big amateur victories. So I don't know, but I'm going to be very nervous. And when you say disappointed, I'm not disappointed. I'm a bit gutted because I'd like to see him ring walk to Fields of Gold and my way, and I'd just like to go, I can't fucking believe it, because I know he's thinking that. He said to me the other day, 2 years ago, I fought in Sheffield, sold 23 tickets. He sold nearly 2,000 just out of his own hand for this. And he's making a lot of money Saturday. But if he wins, he'll become a millionaire.
What's the fight in mind if he wins this?
Do you know what? I said this the other day. There isn't a fight, and I put AJ in the mix as well, right? There isn't a fight that he couldn't be selected for if he wins on Saturday, outside of Alexander Usyk. Tyson Fury, he wants to come. Why not? AJ, he's having a comeback. Why not? Dubois, why not? Moses, why not? Wilder, why not? Chisora, Miller, Ruiz. Like all of those names that I mentioned, if I said to you, be Dave Allen, everyone would go fucking nuts. Excuse my language, it's terrible today. Sorry, Auntie Dawn. Do you understand though? Like if we announced, Wilder against Dave Allen sells out the O2 instantly. Chisora against Allen sells out the arena in London. Like, you got to understand. Tell me who is selling 8,000 tickets to fight in the UK at the moment. You can count them on there. Guess what? Dave Allen's one of them. It's the most incredible story and turnaround. But we don't want the journey to end on Saturday.
Is there going to be a watch along for fans that are watching this that can watch Eddie Hearn's reaction?
Oh yeah, we're going to be. We've set up a studio in Jaron Ennis's changing room at the Infinity Arena, formerly Wells Fargo, in the home changing room. It's going to be a brilliant watch along, and it's not a watch along for a bit of content. It's a watch along where I cannot wait for Saturday, here and there. But I cannot wait for that Sheffield show. I think it's one of the strong. I was going to message the matchmakers today, Tom Dallas, and just the whole team, and say, this is exactly the kind of show that we want. All right? Hamza Uddin, good step up, first title fight. This is the TV element. Josh Padley, who's become so popular, Reece Bellotti, great all-action fight. Fawaz against Junaid, grudge match, rematch, great narrative, great storyline. Allen against Makhmudov. Perfect, boys. Perfect. Give me that every Saturday. Because I want to come and watch shows like that. And I hope you do too. And I hope you enjoy it on DAZN. Because that is the global home of boxing.
Do you know what? I actually was worried you'd lost a bit of the oomph for boxing, but you haven't. I can see it.
Can't. One thing you never ever have to worry about me is that I lose the oomph, or whatever you just say.
Never did that.
Let me tell you something now. I'm full of fucking oomph. Stop swearing. Sorry, Auntie Dawny. I'm so pumped for the game. So pumped. I've never been more pumped. I've never had so much oomph in my life. Honestly, I'm so buzzing. I'm buzzing. What a time to be alive. What a time for Matchroom around the world. I've got so many big plans. I've got so many things that I want to tell you.
Come on, this is the perfect platform.
I can't, because I'm not going to do it anymore, because we are just poised. We're poised. And we're like a coiled python, I'm sitting there, like all wrapped up beautifully, just waiting. We're going over there, we're going over there. Just when you thought it was a bit like,
You've lost the plot. Right, let's go on this. If there's a few things I want to touch on. Deontay Wilder, in an interview with the streamer Neon, who's actually, I think, from Philadelphia, he said that he's back and he gave a hint of a 2-time. What do you know about Wilder's return and who it's potentially against?
Well, I know that, I spoke to His Excellency when I was in Riyadh and he was talking about Wilder, so I think he's probably got a plan for him of some sort.
Does that include AJ?
No. In time, maybe. I mean, there's been no discussions for us to fight Deontay Wilder. I said to His Excellency, make the Dave Allen fight. if we win on Saturday.
If he's hinting at 2-time, who is he kind of, in your opinion? Someone like maybe Caballel, could that be a potential?
Why would that be 2-time?
Because maybe he works his way back into mandatory position.
What, so it's 2-time because I'm having a fight that might get me a shot at a world championship to become 2-time. Doesn't really make sense. Ngannou, how many times has Ngannou been world champion? ChatGPT.
Do you think the Ngannou fight against Wilder's a good fight to make?
Yeah, I do actually. Love the fight. Chat.
While you're doing that, I seen you post on Instagram. People might not have picked up on this. Keyshawn Davis done a post and you commented on it and you said boxing needs you back. Have you had any discussions about signing him? Would you sign Keyshawn Davis?
Yeah, but we can work with Top Rank on Keyshawn Davis. I mean, if he ever become a free agent, of course, I love Keyshawn. Well, don't forget, his first few fights were with me. Do you know what it is? It's more... sorry, how many times has Ngannou been UFC champ?
I guess 3.
What do you know? Once. So probably not him then. What are we talking about?
Keyshawn Davis.
I have a soft spot for Keyshawn Davis because he's obviously going through some stuff right now, and I think that again, there's a lot of talk about fighters and mental health, and you saw Arturo Gatti's son take his own life this week. What was he, 17? I mean, it's so heartbreaking. I think people are very very mean, aren't they? And they're very nasty people, and I think without really knowing what people are going through, like someone like Arturo Gatti Jr., on the outset or on Instagram or on social media, this kid just looks like a young man who's just living life, boxing, excited. Here he is here on a beach, and here he is here. And to the outset, people will be looking at Arturo Gatti Jr. going, wow, look at him. He's loving life. He's flying. And then he takes his own life. And it's like the demons that can come into the mind are very difficult to fight off. And I feel like with Keyshawn Davis, I think sometimes we talk about fighters post-boxing and the difficulties they face mentally, but we don't often talk about the fighters in boxing who are active, who may have the same kind of demons or the same kind of struggles. Life changes. Like when you become a big star, things change, and you're subject to criticism, hate, lies, like people around you change, your life changes, it's not a simple life anymore. Maybe you're all of a sudden, you're in this big house and you've got all these people working for you and life's a bit out of control when you're just thinking, do you know what, when I was back at home, like in my little house with my family, I was sweet, and now what the hell's going on? And I do think he's amazing for boxing, and I think he's an amazing talent. But the key is to be happy and find something that makes you happy. If that's not boxing, then he shouldn't return to boxing. But I just feel that it is boxing because I think boxing can make him happy, just in the right environment with the right support. And you have to live the right life. You can't be messing around. You can't be doing what he's been doing over the years because that's going to fuck you in the head. So you got to just become extremely disciplined, get the right support network around you, and you got to fall in love with the sport again. I think it's very easy in boxing to fall out of love with boxing. I've done it a few times. Where you just think, do you know what, it's full of pricks, full of just can't win. It's so toxic, this sport. And then you realise why you love boxing, and then you get back into it. But you're like, life's like that, isn't it? And I think one thing you've got to realise and just come to terms with is life is like that, and you never crack or master it. So stop searching so deep inside for the answers, because the answers may never be there and they may never come, and you may never realise. And when you really realise what life is actually all about, it's probably time for you to leave anyway. So don't put so much pressure on yourself to be happy. Of course, try and find the things that make you happy, but just understand that you're going to have good days and bad days. You're going to have good things that happen during your life, and you're going to have bad things that happen during your life. And that is called life. We put too much pressure on the perfect life. And a lot of that comes from the bullshit of social media and Instagram, where people are going, oh my God, wow, look at them. Oh, look. That's what I was saying about Arturo Gatti Jr. The perception is he's living life. Wow. Oh, yeah. And then, but you don't know what he's going for. He's not happy. So forget other people. Don't worry about other people's life. Focus on yourself and know that every day is a challenge with obstacles that are coming at you all the time. This too shall pass. This is a great saying, and it's not a song. I think it's King Emmanuel or something like that, where it's like, this too shall pass. And people think that this too shall pass is based upon bad times that will pass and you'll come over. It's actually, I believe, a quote that's also based on the humility of knowing that whilst things are good, that's going to pass too. Do you understand? So this too shall pass is like, doesn't matter if it's good or bad, this too shall pass. So when it's bad, know that this too shall pass. And when things are great and you're buzzing and you're flying, understand this too shall pass. That's life. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant, but that, I feel like it's really important for people to know that. It's not, stop looking for this eternal happiness, because life's not like that. You're going to wake up one day, something shit's going to happen. You're going to have a bad day at work. You could lose someone close to you. You could become ill. Anything can happen. So count your blessings when days are good. But also understand that some days you're going to wake up and you're going to be buzzing and you're going to feel so alive and so grateful and thankful. You can't feel like that every day. You can try, but not every day. In my opinion, anyway. Like, I know some people are out there going, I am so grateful, I'm so thankful. Oh, what another day. It's like, but this is Instagram bollocks. If you live a real life, if you really want to achieve, if you have the hurdles of life, you're not going to be happy every day. Now, you can just be thankful, you can trick yourself a little bit, but just remember, life's not supposed to be all roses. It's just life, and life's supposed to test you and challenge you and sometimes try and break you, but you're supposed to overcome those things and try and keep on going. So just keep on going. Right,
we're already 7 minutes into this, and we need to get moving. Ed, AJ, you met him in Dubai. You've obviously went and seen Turkey. What can you tell us? I know you're not going to give us the full update, but are we going to see him before the end of the year?
There is a chance, yeah. I mean, that wasn't the original plan, but I've got to be honest, the reason that I wanted to go and see him face to face was to look in his eye and just to hear it from him. Are you up for it? Do you love the game? Do you want to stay in the game? And the answer was a resounding yes. And that's good for me to see. Watched him train, physically he's back, his elbow's good. It's been a tough time. The defeat to Daniel Dubois was heartbreaking. And I think, again, same kind of thing. Wow, look at AJ's on social media, look, smiling with everyone, great. Oh, he's buzzing, he's fine. But the defeat hurt, and it hurt bad. And then you get the injury, you've been told to rest, you go back, it's not work, then you got to have an operation, it's 3 months. And now he's ready to return. And he's really motivated. And it was, the one thing that he wants is he wants to be active. And it was quite funny because, we were talking about how fighters could just, go under the radar and have just an 8 or 10 round warm-up fight without the pressure of having to come back and do a massive stadium. I was like, I don't think I could probably sneak you on a card somewhere in Mexico or something like that. But the desire for him is to get active and to get himself in a position where when we land, hopefully, the Tyson Fury fight, we're ready. We're not coming in rusty. We're not coming in where the confidence is it good, is it not? We're fired up, we're pumped up, and the wheels are oiled and greased, ready to do a demolition job on Tyson Fury, because that's what he wants to do. Now, whether that fight will come, we don't know. All I know is that His Excellency wants to make that fight. And every time I've worked with His Excellency and he's wanted to make a fight, he's made a fight. So
we'll touch on that in a second, right? If AJ fights before the end of the year, you're running out of dates where he can fight. Does it have to be the Riyadh season card?
Not necessarily. It can be anywhere. But it won't.
Monaco?
But I think if he fights this year, I think it will be a smaller fight. He's not. I don't think he's going to come back this year and fight.
Give me an idea though. It's a smaller fight.
Honestly, probably, maybe even someone you might not have even heard of. If we fight this year, because it's going to be, come on, it's 5 weeks. You talk about 5 or 6, 7 weeks till the end of November. He's not.
AJ's a commercial superstar, so there has to be a monetary.
No, there doesn't. See, that's where you're wrong. There doesn't have to be a monetary. Like sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's about getting yourself back in the game to where you need to be.
Could you give me an example though,
Of what?
like if you're saying that this is a potential, where could he potentially
I
fight?
have no idea, mate. I mean, Monaco, Saudi, Birmingham, Africa.
So he could actually end up on that Birmingham card.
But this is like you just get. Look, I don't think so. No, I mean very, very unlikely. And he may not even fight this year.
Okay, out of all of them, what's the most likely for AJ for the
Internationally, that's what I'd say.
So,
America,
Africa?
But maybe we got a show in America, December. I don't know. But that's only really if we come back and have that one. Do you know what I mean? Because when we fight in February or something like that, it's gonna be. You understand what I'm saying, don't you? It's not easy when you get beat and you've been out for a year and a half to just go back into a big stadium fight where it's bollocks on the line again. It's like allow me to get back to my best. So sometimes, and you know, you could announce a fight again against an opponent, you know, decent opponent, but you've never heard of, and everyone goes, "What a joke!" It's like, fuck you lot. Let us do what we need to do. This is the last chapter, right? So allow us to get it right. Because when we fight Tyson Fury, we need to beat him. Because that's the most important fight of his career, of my career, of this generation of British boxing. And we have to win. We have to win. We can't lose to Tyson Fury. We have to win. So therefore, we need to be 110% for that moment. So let us do what we need to do, right?
So if you're talking to Turkey about that, I know you can't give us too much information. Is that fight likely to land in the UK? Fury?
I honestly have no idea. And we're not, you know.
When would it likely be? Next summer?
Again, yes, next summer, autumn. We're not, it's not, look, I can't speak obviously on behalf of Tyson Fury. I don't want to because he'll get the ump. So all I'm doing is we will have our conversations with, you know, primarily with DAZN because AJ is exclusive to DAZN and Turkey Al Sheikh and see what that route looks like. We can go and do something else. We can go and fight in Africa. We can fight Jake Paul. We can do all these different things. But AJ wants to fight Tyson Fury. So again, let's not get too excited because we've been here 47 times before. But that's what we're working towards.
You were on Ariel Helwani and you kind of had a little bit of a back and forth with Dana in terms of, well, Dana didn't speak, but you had a bit of a thing to say that this is my sport and you're not going to come and take over. What is your...
I mean, you put in words, it's my, I never said this is my sport, right? I mean, because it's not my sport, right? But this is my life. And, you know, Dana come out and said, oh, Eddie's gone all Oscar de la Hoya. I said, but if you listen to what I say, I've never criticised him. I've only praised him. But what you can't expect... Imagine I come out and went, yeah, I'm going into MMA, right? And I'm going to take over MMA. I'm going to be the CEO of MMA. What do you think he'd say? He'd ridicule. He'd go, well, good luck with that. Yeah, but you're okay. Because that is what I do. World to me. And if you think you're going to come in and dominate the sport, I disagree. And I don't think it's going to happen. But I tell you what, I'm so up for the fight. I mean, do you know how exciting it is? Everyone's talking about Eddie v Dana White. You know how exciting it is for me, for Dana White to be a competitor of mine. For a long time, I've watched him, I've admired him, I've praised him, because he's a great promoter. TKO's an incredible business. Now he's a competitor. It's going to be me and Dana in boxing. I can't wait. I live for shit like that. And I know he does as well. And he ain't going to roll over. I ain't going to roll over. Maybe we can work together. There's not going to be anything personal from my side. I'm just going to beat him. And I'm going to do better shows than him. And that's why now when we're looking at our schedule and the ambition of DAZN and our position, particularly in the US market, wait till you see what we come at you with in 2026. Because I'm going the other way. And, you know, I talked about this, about the belts and the governing body. Dana's going, Zuffer belt, sort of a new ring, changing the Muhammad Ali Act. I'm going the other way. Championship boxing, legacy, belts matter. And I'm going to try to make boxing great again for what it is. I'm not going to bastardise the product. I'm not going to change the ring mat canvas to something funky or just cut a bit of the ring off or something like that, or have a belt saying Zafar on it. I'm going WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, Ring Magazine, legacy. Making the great fights in the divisions, building talent and giving fight fans real fights. And that's what, and I feel the support of the fight fans for that.
Do you feel a little bit threatened though? Because I wouldn't ever imagine you reacting like how you have.
But when you say how I have, when have you seen me? I'm not lost me rag. I'm just telling you I'm excited to take on that. I mean, we say reacting. Oh, fuck Dana. Fuck. No, you're never going to hear me. No, but when are you ever going to hear me do that? What I'm telling you is I'm very excited to be taking on Dana White in boxing.
You see him as a legitimate... Now, obviously, because you didn't shit on it, but at points you kind of said, they're not going to be able to match us. They haven't got the roster of fighters, which is probably true.
I'm not naive enough to think that a company the size of TKO and someone as smart as Dana and as powerful as Dana White is not going to be a threat to us. But also, I want a threat. I don't want to, I want competition. I want those battles. Because why is Dana White in boxing? Because boxing is red hot. So let's go. See what they're made of. See what they've got to do. See what I'm made of. But you can't expect him to come into boxing and go, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take over. I'm going to change boxing. And me just to roll over on my back and go, oh, tickle my belly, Dana. No, I'm going to go, let's fucking go. And that's what life's all about. The blood pumping around your body every day. Just feeling excited to be alive and excited for the fight. And this is a fight.
Does Turkey have any... Because obviously he's very close with Dana. You've just been to Saudi Arabia. Does he have a discussion to say how he'd cool it on the Dana White talk or anything?
He loves it. Do you know how good Eddie v Dana is for boxing? I mean, it's great for me. Even Dana might not like, but that's the narrative. That's the storyline. This is going to go on and on and on and on. It's going to be comparing. There's going to be back and forwards. You ain't going to see me being disrespectful because I respect the guy. But he's a competitor. And again, if I came out and said, I'm going into MMA, right? What do you think he's going to say? Oh, good luck, Eddie. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I think he'll do really well. No, he'd say, oh, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So it's just the same, isn't it? So, again, just pumped.
I have a few questions. So, in terms of Abbas Baru, obviously the interim title's on the line Saturday night. Does that mean you've had a discussion to say that after if Butch does win, he'll be ordered to fight Abbas?
No, he'll be the mandatory for Abbas, but we don't. Look, the key for Giron is to win a championship at 54. However, the Virgil Ortiz fight is a fight that we've agreed in a room like this with Oscar, with Eric Gomez, with DAZN. We agreed the entire deal, and then Giron signed the contract for the fight. Virgil hasn't yet. But Eric Gomez called me in a week and said, look, trying to let you know, once we fight Lubin, we get that fight won, we want to do the fight. I take his word for it. I know Oscar wants to make the best fights as well. Although you've got two interim champions, but the WBC belt should be on the line for that because Crawford's moving. Fundora's got the belt with the WBC. But, his interim title, our interim title, I'd rather Boots for a full world title. I just think that Boots v Virgil Ortiz is one of the best fights in boxing. But give us Mertzalayev, give us Fundora, give us Terence Crawford. It doesn't really matter. Give us Barris or Boo. It doesn't really matter. When I talk about other belts, I look at Jerome Boots Ennis. He is obsessed with a legacy in the belt, in the sport, and winning championship belts. He's already a unified world welterweight champion. He wants to become unified or undisputed at 54, then move to 60, then move to 68. And we've got to pick up as many belts every time we move.
Have you discussed signing Abbas Baru?
No.
Not something you're going to...
No. But I think there's been a few conversations about a Boots fight, but not particularly.
Kliko out injured. When will we see him back?
Yeah, probably New Year. Yeah, he had picked up a hand injury, and yeah, probably New Year.
Working with Richardson Hitchens going forward, what's the conversation been like there?
Look, as he told the world after the Kambosos fight, he's a free agent. We haven't really made him any firm offers. He's talking to everybody. If it suits us, we'll do something. If not, we wish him all the best.
Pacheco left Benavidez. When are you going to announce his next fight? And do you have any idea who the new trainer's going to be?
He'll be fighting in December. I don't know on the trainer, but the Pacheco announcement will be coming very soon.
You talk about next year being massive for the US. Have you any more US signings on the way?
Yes, lots.
Can you give us any indication as to who?
Absolutely not, no.
Let's do this. And Andy Cruz, we're in Philadelphia. No Andy Cruz this week. Bit surprising to some people. Andy,
If you know the sport, he's been ordered by the IBF to begin negotiations with Murataya. He can't fight.
so when will we see Andy Cruz?
We've called purse bids. There's a purse bid next week for Andy Cruz against Murataya.
Likely Matchroom, if you win that purse bid, to come to Philadelphia with Andy Cruz, or
It'll be Philadelphia, but December, January, Andy Cruz will be fighting for the world title.
what's the situation with Dalton Smith? Because people obviously think that
Ready.
is it done?
Yeah, we've been told January the 10th in New York. So,
Could that end up being your show?
no, we lost the purse bid. So they've got to put the money up. Good luck. And we'll see if they do it.
Edward, appreciate your time.
In this sport, you don't wait for judges to decide your fate. TenexToken puts you in control. Stake instantly, speculate discreetly, and keep your moves private. TenexToken. Play smart, play discreet.